Hey guys, welcome back.
Welcome back to Inspired Delusions.
We hope you guys have been so delusional.
Yeah, we have.
We really have.
We always say that.
We do always say that on every episode, but it's because it's true.
It's true, and we get more and more delusional every week.
No, literally.
So hopefully you guys are too.
You guys, we just hit 100 followers on TikTok, and I wish you would have seen us celebrating because it was as if we hit 100,000.
Literally.
It's just, I mean, it's inevitable. So
it is inevitable. So we're just celebrating the small wins for now.
Totally.
Which is good.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how you have to start.
Literally.
Right?
That's the whole point of life too, is like if you wait to hit the huge milestones until like if you wait for that for your happiness, then the whole journey is gonna be boring or blah, you know?
No, you're so right. You're so right.
It's making everything deeper.
But yeah, things have been really good for Liv and I and for you guys as well. Somebody sent in a little message.
Yeah, testimonial.
And we want to share it with you guys. But they had said, I've been using the law of assumption lately and living in the end, and it's been working. There's a contract I've been looking into, and she told me, her recruiter, that they only had nights. So I said, okay, that's fine. I don't work nights, and I moved on. And guess what? On Monday, she called me and said that they had a day shift position open. The law of assumption rocks.
Yes, rocks in all caps, right?
Rocks in all caps.
Rocks. The law of assumption rocks in all motherfucking caps.
Yeah.
Literally. That is such a good reminder that you can actually manifest anything.
Totally.
And the law of assumption works. So start being delusional, start using the law of assumption even more. That kind of inspired you to be more delusional, right?
Yeah, no, I read it and I got so excited because I really do love hearing other people's success stories. And the more you remind your brain that you could do whatever you want and you can receive whatever you want, then you're more likely to start believing that too and acting like that. So it was just a good little reminder for me this week when we got that message.
And we especially love hearing our audience having success stories.
I know, right?
So please keep sharing it with us.
Please, you guys.
Yeah, we love it, love it, love it. We're so excited. I mean, that's part of the reason why we've become even more and more delusional because like we're like, we need this podcast to reach millions of people to keep spreading the positivity, keep spreading the delusion, keep spreading the actual factual knowledge that you can manifest anything.
No, we really do need this podcast to grow and reach people because it really is a choice to feel good, but anyone can do it.
Yes, exactly.
Anyone can do it, and people just need to be reminded.
Yeah, literally a reminder. And that's something that we're going to talk about today is reminding yourself of being positive, essentially being more positive. That's the topic of this podcast, which is something that I hold very, very near and dear to my heart. I think that what is going on in your brain internally, like what you are saying to yourself, what you are thinking to yourself, you need to be wildly delusional and wildly positive to yourself.
So positive self-talk.
Yes.
And positive inner dialogue.
Yes, exactly. You need to be your biggest cheerleader inside of your mind and the way you talk about yourself too, like physically. But inside of your mind, your thoughts need to start being hype me up thoughts. Like you need to be your biggest hype woman.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something I work with my clients and something that I have personally really, really done over the last couple of years. And it's transformational.
No, I agree. But before we even get into how to shape your thoughts or positive inner dialogue, how do we monitor or catch what we are thinking? How do we recognize what we're thinking to begin with?
That's 1000% the first step.
Because every day, a person will have 60 to 70,000 thoughts, and 90% of those thoughts are the same thoughts from the day before, and the day before, and the day before, and so on.
Did y'all catch that? 60 or 70,000 thoughts per day. Is that not insane?
That's insane. And then even from those thoughts, only 5% of them are conscious thoughts that we know that we're having. And then the other 95% are unconscious thoughts.
Yes, exactly.
So that your unconscious self is really running the show.
Yeah, and it's just running on autopilot. Like if you're thinking the same thing every day, if you're not consciously trying to shift your thoughts, your inner self-talk, like your beliefs, if you're not consciously trying to shift it, then it's just going to stay the same. It's just going to have those same repeating thoughts and things going on in your mind.
Right. So what do you do? What have you done in the past to change your thoughts?
So yeah, I mean, the first step is to observe, right? So start noticing what you're thinking. That can happen throughout your day. Just trying to be a little bit more conscious of asking yourself, what are you thinking about right now? Like, or if there's a situation presented to you, being like, okay, am I automatically thinking about like the worst case scenario? If so, let's start shifting. Let's start redirecting towards thinking about the best case scenario. What I think helps the most with this, observing what you're thinking and redirecting, is meditation.
Meditation, you guys. We will always,
Yes.
recommend meditation.
Yes.
Number one.
If you are not meditating, babe, I get it, because it seems like it's hard.
It does seem hard.
It seems hard, and it seems like a lot of people don't think that they're doing it right because there's so many thoughts going on. You're like, oh, I can't be quiet. But that's not really the point of meditation. The point is everyone starts meditation with sucking at it. Basically, everyone sucks at meditation when you first start.
Right.
And that's why you can start with doing it for like 3 minutes and go up to add a minute every week or whatever you need to do. But starting with some type of meditation, whether it's mindful meditation, which means just sitting with your thoughts, just focusing on your breath, and then, or a guided meditation. Kames loves Joe Dispenza meditations, which are amazing. Highly recommend. But meditation in general is such a key for up-leveling your life in general, but especially to start noticing what you're thinking, right? Start being able, because with meditation, you kind of are training your brain to come back to the present moment, essentially, or come back to whatever you're focusing on with the guided meditations. And so you're training that brain muscle to be able to notice when you're having a thought and then come back, right? Like redirect, come back to center. So you get really, really good at being able to notice it. And that's what I feel like has helped me be able to notice if I'm ever having like a self-doubt or like a negative belief or thought coming in my mind. I'm able to notice it and be like, oh, nope, no thanks. Don't need to listen to that. Or redirecting it to, wait, no, actually I am smart. Oh, actually I am beautiful. Oh, actually I am very capable. So meditation is an amazing way.
Yeah, and going off of that, that's one of my favorite things to do is when I am having thoughts that don't really align with me as a whole, I always tell myself, okay, no thanks. Like, I actually don't believe that.
Yep.
I don't. Right. You don't have to believe that. You don't have to listen. Okay, next thought.
Yeah, that's like a very good thing to know, is that you don't have to believe every thought that comes in your mind.
I know, right?
There's ideas that these random thoughts, especially like negative thoughts, just kind of come from the ether
around you.
Yeah, come from around you, or maybe you've been hanging out with super negative people or whatever. It's like, okay, it's kind of that energy stuck with you. And so just realizing that, especially if you're having negative thoughts, you literally don't need to listen to it.
Right.
You are the observer. You can choose which thoughts you want to build on and which ones you need to just let go of.
Right.
I think of it too as, if there's a thought that I don't want to believe, or it's a doubt thought or whatever, I think of it sometimes of like kind of crumpling it up into a ball. And I say thank you to it sometimes too. I'm like, okay, I know this is this is my ego trying to protect me or whatever, but I don't need to listen to it. It's like, thanks, but no thanks.
I know. I do that. I actually do kind of a similar exercise. I have a box in my brain and I put that thought in the box and I close it. Ooh. And then like it goes down like a, what are those called?
I know what you're like an assembly thing.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then I just send it off.
Yeah.
And then it's done.
It's done. Bye-bye negative thoughts.
Yeah.
But that's kind of so meditation is really great for observing your thoughts. So then to start changing your thoughts to being more positive, just consciously redirecting and thinking more positively, and your affirmations. Truly, your affirmations are going to be such a key player in this. Start basically saying your affirmations all the time to yourself.
Yeah, that's another thing Olivia and I will always be recommending to you guys is affirmations.
If you're not doing your affirmations, if you're not doing some type of affirmations, I promise you, babe, you are missing out on the easiest cheat code of leveling up your self-concept, and your reality.
There's so many different kinds you can do too. You can just you can make your own.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just little sentences of positivity that you can read back to yourself.
Yeah. My first ever affirmation that I still do to this day is, I am amazing. I wrote that down a lot. Was saying it to myself over and over again. I didn't believe it at first.
And you are.
And then now I literally believe it. I'm like, oh yeah, duh.
You believe it,
yeah.
And it is.
Yeah.
You can go on Chat GPT.
Yes.
And you can like custom make affirmations for whatever area you're trying to work on.
Like, oh, hey, can you please write me some affirmations for self-confidence or for, manifesting more money or for getting rid of doubt or, just being happier in life. So, yeah.
Right. Or one of our new favorite things to do is we found this affirmation like Rampage is what it's called. Where it's just the one we use is Abraham Hicks, and we will link it in the show note. But it's her just for 20 minutes, just going and saying like all these positive things, and it's so helpful to listen to uplifting information like that,
especially in the morning. That's a little extra cheat code, is if you listen to some type of like affirmation track or this gratitude rampage, which we'll link. If you listen to something like that right as soon as you wake up, super powerful, because your brain is very suggestible in that state.
Yeah, right when you wake up, your brain waves are like between theta and alpha, which is like the most relaxed brain waves while you're awake, essentially. And that's really the most important time for you to speak to your subconscious, because it's so malleable. Like you said, malleable. Exactly. It's taking in all this information. So right when you wake up, it's so important. You can also do it right when you go to sleep. But right when you wake up, it's nice though, because that kind of forms the day you're about to have.
Oh yeah. Also, when going to sleep, you can also listen to sleep tracks. I don't think you do sleep tracks that often, right?
I do frequencies.
Right, perfect, love. But so you can do something like that, or you can listen to sleep tracks, which is typically like an affirmation track for 8 hours, and you play that while you're sleeping if you can go to sleep with listening to something. I do that all the time, and I swear that's such a cheat code. And I have my clients do that too, and one of my clients just started it a couple days ago and then said that it was like changing her life within a couple days.
Because you don't have to do anything. You just go to sleep, you have a good time, peace out, and then you wake up and you're like, I love myself.
So literally your subconscious mind is still intaking information even when you're asleep. So if you're listening to affirmations all night long, and they can be really quiet, but if you're listening to them all night long, of course, eventually it's going to sink into your mind like, oh, wait, I am amazing. Right. You listen to that for 8 hours. So those are some tips, but also do your affirmations throughout the day while you are listening to, or as soon as you're done with this podcast episode. Tell yourself your affirmations. Tell yourself you're amazing. Tell yourself you're capable. Tell yourself you're smart. And just, I guess, an overall tip is that even if you have some resistance towards believing your affirmations, you can still do them. Like, I recommend still do them, still push through. Of course, I think affirmations are kind of, the point of them are to, you don't necessarily have to believe them at first. Like, that's the point of doing them. That's why you say it over and over and over again until you finally believe it. Someone described it the other day really well to me of, it doesn't have to be extremely dramatic, right? Like, if you are wanting to manifest more money, you don't have to say, oh, I'm a millionaire, I'm a billionaire. But you could just do like one step up. Right? Like, oh, there's a lot of ways to make money. I have made money in the past. I am abundant in love or friendship or with my family, something like that too.
No, I love that you said abundant, because a cheat code that you can do with affirmations is find like the energetic match to it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times with money, people will say like abundance, right? So you might not be able to find tangible dollar bills around you, but you can find abundance in love, in friendship, in time,
in air,
right, exactly,
food.
Exactly. Yes. And then when you get that energy and feel so good about all of that, then you're able to transmute it into your affirmation of, I have so much money, right?
Yeah.
Before I do my affirmations, especially if it's something that I'm feeling not too confident in, what I try to do is I try to think of like gratitude or excitement. Maybe I'll do like a little like quick dance, like 3-minute dance, and then I'll hold on to that energy and I'll say my affirmations.
Ooh, I like that.
Or I try to hold on to the energy of what it really would feel like if I felt or had those things. And then I say my affirmations, and I feel like that really kicks it in. Because again, it all comes down to, the energy of what you're feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Something else that's important is realizing your inner dialogue. Your subconscious mind is always listening to your inner dialogue. So don't joke negatively about yourself is also something to say. Like, I feel like I've kind of gotten onto Kayma about that a little bit.
She's definitely has had to catch me in the past, no longer, you guys. In the past, she'd always be like, don't say that. Like, why are you saying that? And I'd be like, oh, like kind of not defensive, but like a little bit like, it's just a joke. It's just a joke.
If it was like a negative joke, basically.
Right. Like being like, oh, I'm so dumb.
Yeah.
Like if I made a mistake, I'm so dumb.
Oh, yeah. Like,
right?
I'm so dumb.
Right.
Or yeah. Or, oh, I'm so ugly or something like that. As it's mostly a joke, but
I've definitely never said that.
Oh, okay, maybe I have. But yeah, our subconscious mind just doesn't take a joke. So don't negatively joke about yourself. And even if you're thinking, oh, it's just a joke, it's not.
Well,
It's not a joke.
And that's because the subconscious mind doesn't have any positive or negatives.
Yeah.
It takes whatever you're saying as is.
Yes.
Right. So it can't hear the tone of voice of like, if you make a mistake and you're like, oh my God, I'm so dumb, I'm so stupid. Your subconscious can't tell that that's like sarcasm.
Yes.
It just takes it as is and wants to give you what it wants. So it's like, oh yeah, you are dumb, you are stupid, and so then those are the feelings. It'll continue to show you more evidence of that.
Yes, it will always show you evidence. Yeah. So that's just another reason why having pure positive inner dialogue and how you talk about yourself and how you think about yourself is so important. And another reason why that's important is that this world is a mirror. We've kind of mentioned that. I totally believe that people and situations will typically reflect back to you your own internal beliefs, right? How you think about yourself, other people are going to think about you that same way. So you thinking and being really nice to yourself and hyping yourself up and being positive and saying your affirmations literally will be reflected back to you in people, in your reality, in your job, everything.
I agree. And I think there's definitely been a lot of moments that we've both reflected on being like, oh yeah, that was actually just me.
Yeah.
But I also think about it like I would never talk to my sister or you or my
Younger
family,
self.
my younger self, anyone who I love in a negative way. So why would I do that to myself? And
great way to think about it.
Maybe sometimes at first it feels kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But then that's what the practice is for.
That's what the practice is for. Heavy, heavy, heavy on that. And heavy on, it might feel uncomfortable at first. If you have been in this routine of being really critical of yourself, being really mean, being really negative, it's going to feel weird when you start changing your thoughts about yourself. But I promise you just have to push through. You have to push through, and then eventually it will feel natural, which, I mean, what is happening in the brain is if you've been saying all these negative things or beliefs about yourself, these negative thoughts about yourself over and over again, over however many years, you have a neural pathway in your brain that says, oh, I can't ever do anything right. Right? If you've been thinking that, okay, you have this neural pathway. When you start having a new belief of being like, actually, wait, I am capable. If that's a new thought to you, you have to say it over and over and over again for it to become a new neural pathway.
Right.
So it's going to feel uncomfortable. It's not going to feel as natural as going back to the original, like, oh, I can't get anything done. You have to push through to create new beliefs. Beliefs are just thoughts that we think over and over and over again.
Right.
Truly.
And the way to like go a step further to continue to make new neural pathways is so you're having this thought, you think it over and over and over again, right? Then you believe it. Then you start to make choices and decisions based off of that.
Yes.
And those choices and decisions provide outcomes that then lead to feelings.
Yes.
And whatever feelings you have, then go back to reaffirm the original new thought you had, which is so amazing. And that's what neuroplasticity is.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky that we get to choose how we want to think and change it at any given second.
I was thinking about that the other day because I was like, I really believe that we can choose what we believe, essentially. And that's a newer concept for me because I thought for a long time, like, okay, it's a belief. Like it feels like a fact. Like a lot of times our beliefs feel like facts, but really most of the time our beliefs are actually just beliefs. They're malleable. They're changeable. It's like TikTok where if you believe something and you're always interacting with that and you're always seeing that on TikTok, of course that's going to stay your belief.
Right, because the feed, it just starts to like do that over and over again.
A feedback loop, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, cool. But then if you are consciously seeking out new information and seeking out new perspectives or a way to think about things differently, then you literally are creating a new belief. Right? So you can choose your beliefs, I promise you. And sometimes it feels uncomfortable to let go of the old beliefs. If you have been in this victim mentality, if you've been in this boo-hoo, nothing goes right for me, it feels natural to you at this point. But if you want to improve your life, if you want to be happy, if you want to manifest your dreams, if you want to start being more delusional, you have to let go of that old identity, those old beliefs.
Yeah, something I've been seeing on TikTok a lot, and I think something that we're in the midst of doing, is you have to start to embody the person who you want to be.
Yes.
Your future you speaks kindly to themselves.
Yes.
Your future you hypes yourself up.
Yes.
Your future you is that bad bitch.
Yeah, it really is. And
therefore, you are that bad bitch right now, and you have to start embodying it, start being it.
Be that bad bitch now. I mean, looking at myself, looking at my story, I definitely used to have a lot of negative thoughts about myself, a lot of doubt, a lot of critical things to say about myself just constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And now, as I've done this work, as I've changed my mindset, I'm obsessed with myself. I'm like actually so obsessed with myself, and my reality is reflecting that back to me.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Kayma knows I'm obsessed with myself.
We've talked about this book a lot, and we will also link it, but Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Mm-hmm.
You guys, that book kind of shocked me because I would say I'm a relatively positive person. I'm definitely glass half full always. I read that book and it made me realize there are so many thoughts that are escaping in my brain that I wouldn't necessarily deem so little that I wouldn't deem positive. And thank God I read this book because it just expanded my mind and showed me how to catch it.
Read that book.
Yeah, read that book. Another thing it talks about in that book, which maybe we've mentioned before, is mind consent.
Yeah, explain it. You explain it really well.
Yeah, so I don't know if he coined it or if he's just speaking about it in the book, but essentially it's the idea that like you can't let other people's thoughts, whether positive or negative, infiltrate your thoughts
without your consent.
Without your consent. You have to give them consent.
Yeah, I mean, you can choose to, if someone has like a really limiting belief or says something really mean to you or whatever, you literally can not consent to believing that. Be like, okay, that's your belief. Like, I don't have to believe that, right? But I mean, you can have consent towards things that resonate with you and positive things.
But I bring that up to say that you kind of have to do that to yourself too.
Oh yeah.
If you're having any negative thoughts. Totally. And I mean, goes back to earlier how we were saying, nope, I don't feel like thinking that way anymore. You don't. Bye. Thank you.
Exactly. Totally. But highly, highly, highly recommend that book, y'all. I read it, I think a couple years ago, and it was great, but I reread it multiple times in the last couple months and took away even more things, and how our subconscious mind is so powerful. And we'll do a whole episode just on our subconscious mind.
Yeah.
But the book really talks about your subconscious mind. Can't take a joke. Always think about the best case scenario. Always be hyping yourself up, speaking positively about yourself. So really recommend.
He says as soon as you start to have a bad thought, you need to catch it, stop it right there, and then immediately say something positive.
Yeah,
redirect and affirm the positive things. Yeah. So even if you're new to this and you are having slightly lower vibrational thoughts, just know you can always stop, redirect, and reaffirm the positive.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention shadow work, because shadow work is a really good way to help you help you get clear on some of the negative things that you've been holding. Yeah. And maybe some of these negative beliefs that you've been holding that have subconsciously been affecting your inner dialogue, the way you think about yourself. Shadow work is an amazing way to be like, oh, wait, I can't believe XYZ part of my childhood made me think negatively about myself. And I've still been thinking that to this day.
Right.
And shadow work helps you kind of bring that up to the surface, and it doesn't and release it. So it doesn't have to hold power over you anymore.
Yeah. It can kind of help you tether like an emotion to a situation.
Yeah.
And once you're able to let go of that feeling, you're also then able to start changing those beliefs as well.
Yes, totally.
I think another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with positive self-talk is changing perspective.
Yeah, totally.
Because ultimately, everything in the universe is neutral.
Yes.
Right? It is us who give positive or negative meaning to things. So if something's happening that you don't really fuck with, just change the perspective.
Literally.
Because
you can always think if things are happening to you or things are happening for you.
Too. Right. I made a TikTok recently, which if you guys haven't followed us, you should follow us.
Go
It's
follow us.
at Inspired Delusions.
We'll put it in the show notes.
We will put
we
it in the
just
show
got
notes.
100 followers. Did we say that already?
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I made a TikTok that was kind of I'll re-say it. But essentially I was just like, okay, I could look at my life right now and be like, okay, I'm 28 years old. I'm single. I have to live with a roommate. I've been working the same job for the past couple of years. But then that kind of sounds negative, right? Or kind of sounds down, maybe in some cases. It could, right? But then I could switch that and I could be like, oh my gosh, I'm 28 years old. I'm so young. I still have the rest of my life to figure out whatever I want to figure out.
Yeah.
As far as like being single, yeah, but I'm growing in myself.
Yep.
I'm finding the most authentic version of myself. I'm truly me.
Mm-hmm.
Living with a roommate, sure. Most people at our age would probably prefer to like live alone, but we're having the time of our fucking lives.
Yeah, it's actually been so fun. Some people say don't live with your best friend, but thank God it's been so fun living with you.
No, we have the best time. I love living with you.
Yeah.
And when else are we going to ever have the opportunity to live together?
Next year.
Okay. And then as far as the job, I'm so thankful because the job, you know, it gives me money for food, for the roof over our head, for opportunities. I never have to think twice if I want to do something. I can, you know?
Yeah. If you change your perspective around situations, it literally gives you more energy to actually do it. It gives you hope. It gives you optimism. Like, you know, the classic example of if you, let's say, can't find your keys when you're getting ready, you can't find your keys and you are looking for them for 5 minutes. You find them, boom. You're like, oh, that was so annoying. I couldn't find my keys, like boo-hoo. Or you could be like, okay, well, if I left 5 minutes earlier, I could have gotten in a wreck. The universe was literally protecting me.
Yeah.
And what I genuinely believe is that everything happens for us and the universe truly has your back. So really every single thing that you think is negative could be flipped to being like, okay, this is happening for me.
No, totally. And going off of that, I think something that I've been really practicing is when I can't really see the bigger picture, just knowing in my heart that for right now, maybe it's none of my business, but later it will kind of be revealed to me.
Yes.
And I know 100% it is for me.
Yeah, totally. And that kind of goes to, you can either believe that the universe has good intentions for you, or you can believe like in nothingness or that things are out to get you. There's this quote from Einstein. I just looked it up to make sure I got it right, but it is, the most important decision we make is whether we believe we live in a friendly or hostile universe.
Damn.
Right? You can either believe that the universe, God, is out here looking out for you and has your back, or you can believe in like the nothingness or things are out to get you. Like truly, it's your choice. You can believe whatever you want to believe.
I know having negative thoughts feels addicting.
Yeah, it can be addicting.
But having positive thoughts
can then start being addicting.
Way more addicting. Trust and believe. It is way more fun over here.
It really is. And as you do the mindset shifts and as you do the work and as you become more positive and optimistic and manifest more and more things, life literally starts to get so fun and so amazing. And I don't know, I remember being down bad and seeing like these little glimmers of hope, and I had to just follow it. I had to follow those little glimmers, even though I didn't feel happy at the moment. But I'm so happy I followed those glimmers. I'm so happy that I kept the hope. I'm so happy that I forced myself to be delusionally optimistic and radically optimistic, because it's actually gotten me so far. And it feels so good.
That's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So I know last episode I had been talking about Dr. Emoto's study where he speaks to the water positively, and the crystals showed synchronicity, and then the water that he talked negatively to showed disarray.
Yeah, fucked up basically.
Yeah, but while talking about that, I had mentioned moon water.
Yeah.
And a few people had messaged us being like, oh, what's moon water?
Yeah.
It's kind of random because it's not, the thing about moon water, it's not scientifically proven. But we know the moon is just powerful in general, obviously with the tides and the gravity and the pool.
We love the moon. We love her.
We love the moon. Yeah. But so essentially moon water is on a full moon. So when the light is shining, you speak affirmations over it or manifestations, your intentions.
On like in a cup.
I
cup
put
of
it like in a glass of water.
Yeah.
And then you leave it out to receive moonlight. And obviously you would want the moonlight to touch it, but I feel like people say it doesn't matter because the energy of everything, it's reflecting off things and touches the moon water. And then in the morning before the sun comes out, you take it back and you drink it and you just repeat those affirmations and intentions to yourself. And it's supposed to just boost it. So
that's what moon water is.
That's what
do
moon
it on
water
the
is.
next full moon.
Yeah.
Have you guys been doing your mirror work? I think that was one of the assignments that we gave you last week, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Or a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. Hopefully you've been doing your mirror work, saying your affirmations to yourself, looking at yourself. That's another way to start having a more positive internal dialogue.
Right. And talking positively to your water.
Yeah.
Because like we said, we're doing it all of November.
Yeah. Or you can do you can write affirmations like on sticky notes and put those all around. Like whatever you put it, you could put your affirmation as your background on your phone. That's what we both do basically. And look at it all the time. Like truly just try to start saturating your mind with positivity, with your affirmations, with positive content. Listen to this listen to this podcast 3 times on repeat all day long. And share it with a friend.
Yes.
So yeah, please keep writing the reviews. We're loving seeing those reviews coming in and we're so obsessed, and the Spotify ratings and etc. But this podcast is going up.
No, we're actually so up for real, you guys. Yeah. And we're so excited that we're taking you along for the journey because we get to show you in real time. Yeah. If you ask for delusional things, you will receive the delusional things.
Yeah, truly.
And yeah, we've already been, I feel like, we might not share yet, but in the past couple days, I feel like we've already been affirmed some of our delusions in regards to this.
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah.
It's growing quickly, which is cool to see the numbers. And we're going to start talking about some of our delusions so then we can go back in a year or whatever and be like, yup, we manifested that. So it's going to be kind of cool. But yeah, if you're listening this far, we love you so much.
No, we
Tell
really
yourself
love you.
that you're amazing, truly,
because
you truly are. And there is so many good things in the world, and there's so much potential for beautiful, beautiful things. And the world is going in a good direction, even if it seems crazy sometimes. Be delusional.
Yeah, be delusional, you guys. Keep messaging us, please. We love hearing your success stories because they're in turn our success stories. Like we are so proud of you for real.
Yeah.
But yeah, keep your head up. I know sometimes life
be lifing. Life really be lifing.
Yeah, but we're here with you guys. We feel you. But yeah, just try to be delusional, try to be positive.
Yeah.
And yeah, we love you. We will see you in the next episode.
Yeah. Talk to you soon. Bye.